All right, welcome back to episode 20 of To The Crib. It's your boy Delliks with my man Coach Bishop. How we living?
Oh, loving life, man. Went out yesterday to Kathleen High School. Got a W there yesterday. We won the game 28-8. Kind of a little sloppy or whatnot on our part. Should have been a lot worse. But, you know, you take W's, man. W's don't have to be anything special. As long as you get the win at the end of the day, it's a good day.
100%. That's all that matters. This week we got week 6 coming up. This is our slate. We're going to preview all the games for you. Go into each game, talk about the flow of the game, who we think will win, discuss some injuries, along with some fringe players, who we should start or sit, and then we'll keep it moving. Again, we're trying to always get you the most information in the most timely manner. If you compare us to any other show, all the shows are going over an hour long in these kind of breakdown shows. So we appreciate the support for you guys tuning in and sticking with us. As always, subscribe to the channel if you can. Spread the word, and also check us out on our social medias, Instagram and Facebook, To The Crib Podcast. All right, let's get right into it. First game on the docket is Baltimore at Tennessee, but really they're going to be in London. Baltimore is 3-2, Tennessee is 2-3. How you see this game shaping up?
I think the Ravens going to win this game. This is going to be a pretty sloppy game. Since the season's still kind of early on, both of these offensive look kind of sloppy. Tennessee, for some reason, they've gotten away from giving the ball to Derrick Henry, and their offense is kind of, slumping because of it, I feel. And then you also have the Ravens, man. They can't seem to catch the ball to save their life. Like last week, it was drops everywhere, drops in the end zone, drops for first downs. They couldn't capitalize, and that's kind of the way you got to beat Tennessee. So I see this game being very sloppy. Definitely a game that I'm going to be riding like the under on it. Right now it's at like 42. So yeah, I don't see a lot of points being scored in this game, especially with the travel to London for both of these teams. They're already going to be sluggish because of that.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar's been pretty inconsistent this year. Last week he was pretty bad. The week before he was really good. They are having issues on their receiving core. I think they should be getting OBJ back this week. But either way, he's been kind of like non-existent as well. Zay Flowers is kind of cute for a rookie, but still nothing out of this world. The main dude there is Mark Andrews still. He's still being like the king of that receiving target share. What I like to talk about too is Tennessee's defense, run defense. We've been talking about them being so good and this, that, and the other. Last week they got exposed by Zach Moss, which is pretty surprising. Do you think anybody, as far as like Gus Edwards or Justice Hill, is anyone to play this week?
No, not really. I mean, if you have Gus the Bus, you could put Gus the Bus in. I can see, just depending on how like weak you are, maybe in the running back position, that you may have to force play one of those guys. But I would still tend to lean that that was one week that they actually broke out. And the Indianapolis Colts line is good. They do have Quentin Nelson and a bunch of guys over there. So, I'm not.
You mean their offensive line?
Yeah, the offensive line. Yeah, the offensive line is solid. So I'm not just chalking that up to like Tennessee being bad. Was one bad week.
Yeah. If anything, I think I would actually lean Justice Hill just because he gets more of the passing work.
Yeah. Gus gets zero pass game.
Exactly. So that's why I would probably, if you had to choose between one or the other, I'd probably choose Justice Hill. D-Hop had a really good game last week, but it was against the Colts, which the Colts have been letting every wide receiver one eat. So I'm curious to see how that turns out this week. He has a decent matchup against Baltimore secondary. They're not that great of that much of a lockdown defense. So I think D-Hop could still get there this week. And like you said, you just gotta give Derrick Henry 20 carries, man. Give him the rock. Let him.
They're undefeated when they do it.
Correct. They're undefeated when they do it. And again, we're gonna keep an eye on Tajay Spears. He just keeps getting more and more love. He looks pretty good, to be honest. I wouldn't play him. There's actually a league where I was thinking about playing him because he's interesting. He's getting like that Jaylen Warren love in Pittsburgh. So he definitely is a flex play, and if he gets a touchdown, obviously it's like wheels up for the week. But it's something good to watch for, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You like Baltimore to win?
I like Baltimore to win the game.
I actually think Tennessee pulls this out. But it's going to be one of those ugly games, like you said, and I think it'll be low scoring, so the under is probably the best play here. All right, moving on. We're going to Washington at Atlanta. The Commanders are 2-3, and they go to visit the Falcons 3-2. Falcons are favored by 2.5 points. How do you see this game shaping up?
Well, Atlanta's currently all their wins have been at home. They are the home team this week. They are 3-0 at home. But I actually think Washington's going to come in here and get the upset. I think Washington's going to go in and get the win. I feel like the weapons on offense for Washington are greater than the weapons on offense for the Falcons, and I feel like the defenses are about even. I feel like Washington's taking some 3 straight losses, but they play teams like Buffalo, they play teams like the Eagles, and I think they're just due now to pull out a W this week and bounce back.
Wow, we're already disagreeing on games. I love it.
Yeah.
I think Atlanta pulls this out. To be honest, Desmond Ridder has never lost a home game.
Right.
Could this be the one? I don't know.
And at some point that's going to be over. At some point he's going to get a loss, and I see it being this week.
Yeah, I mean it'll be a close game for sure. What I like to see is Ridder. He actually did really well last week. They let him cook, so to speak. And I'm interested to see if that carries over. Both running backs, Bijan and Brian Robinson, both the B-Robs, they both should eat. Brian Robinson had a really bad game last week against a really good matchup, so that was surprising. But Atlanta's defense is not like the worst either. They're pretty solid. They added some people on the defense, so I'm still gonna roll out Brian Robinson against them.
Oh yeah.
But I would be careful, about Terry McLaurin because he's going against probably A.J. Terrell, the Falcons cornerback, and A.J. Terrell's had a really good year so far. So I would be careful with that. I do think Dotson gets in this week. I think it's a bounce back week for Dotson, just because Terry's gonna be kind of like shadowed by Terrell. You got Dotson on the other side. He should be able to do well. Curtis Samuel actually should be doing well. And then Logan Thomas, this is the best tight end matchup in the league, is against Atlanta. So Logan Thomas should do well as well. But I don't know. There's something about these Falcons that are just kind of like very well coached in a way.
They're very scrappy.
They're very scrappy. People freak out about the usage, but they don't care about that as long as they win. You know what I mean? So you're rolling out Drake London too, I think. You might as well, right?
Yeah, but you know who else you should roll out? The leading receiver for Atlanta. Do you know who that is?
Jonnu Smith?
Jonnu Smith. He has 21 receptions for 246 yards. He leads the team in both categories. Jonnu Smith is definitely, if you're looking for a receiver, he should be the play.
So if you're looking for a tight end, really.
Mm-hmm.
So for people that have Pitts, are you comfortable starting him this week?
I would. He's the second leading receiver. He's got 18 for 208. They're both over London. London's only got 17 for 204 on the year. London's the third receiver behind both tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, the over-under is 42.5. I kind of see this going over in a way, now that I'm thinking about it.
It's possible.
But it's going to be about to be close, yeah. So you like Washington to win?
Yes.
I like Atlanta to win. I love it. We're split on both games already. Love it. All right, moving on. Minnesota at Chicago. Obviously, Minnesota's 1-4. Chicago's 1-4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota is without their best player, Justin Jefferson. He'll be out for a few weeks now on IR. Chicago just came off a really nice win. How do you see this game shaping up?
I'm taking Chicago. Give me Chicago. They're +3. Like you said, they're coming off of a big W. Back-to-back games, Fields has thrown 4 touchdowns. They did have that loss to Denver, but he did still put up 4 TDs in that game. He's also put up 4 TDs last week. He's finding DJ Moore. He's finding Cole Kmet. Last week, also the first week that Justin Fields did not hit his INT prop. Only game this season without an INT. I feel like he's starting to get the wheels turning in the right direction. So I'm definitely going to be leaning for the Bears because you also have Addison, who's been limited this week. So we're not even sure if Addison's going to be playing because they're already going to be out without JJ. So if they lose Addison too, that's going to be pretty devastating for Minnesota. I don't know if they'll be able to overcome that.
Yeah, I saw that Addison's a little banged up. It's funny because a name you guys should probably all be looking at is Brandon Powell.
Yeah.
He's now going to be sliding in as, I guess, the third receiver. But what I think is going to happen is they're actually going to put him out on the outside and leave KJ in the slot.
Yeah, they're probably going to put him where he's just going to use him to replace JJ. But
correct. Kind of like what the Bengals did.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what the Bengals did where they had Trent Irwin basically play T. Higgins' spot and just kept Boyd in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
So Brandon Powell actually might get some love this week. Should you start him? I don't think so. I mean, just because of the process. Process does start Addison and KJ.
Right.
But if for some reason Addison is out, I think it might be a good play.
It probably is a good play. If it's just Osborne and him, yeah, you definitely should have them both in your lineups.
Right. On the Chicago side, we're also without Khalil Herbert. So Roshan Johnson.
He hasn't practiced yet. So
yeah, no, I know. I was gonna say he's pretty much out right now too with concussion.
They're saying if he doesn't get into practice time today, here on Friday, that he's probably gonna be a scratch.
So you would have to trust Deontay Foreman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the tight ends, Cole Kmet and Hawkinson, obviously both of them you're starting. Cole Kmet should be on the rosters. He should be starting. Yeah, I like Chicago to win too. I think they pull it out. They, like you said, they've been turning the corner, and they looked decent last week. So I like Chicago to pull this one out. All right, moving on. Seattle at Cincinnati. The Seahawks are 3-1. The Bengals are 2-3. Right now, Cincinnati's favored by 2.5 points at home. We do have a couple injuries. DK Metcalf has a rib injury, and then on the other side, T. Higgins has a rib injury. They both say it's all about a pain tolerance management thing. So basically, they both are pretty much telling us they're going to play. T. Higgins actually has been logging in limited practices, whereas DK hasn't. But DK's giving everybody the okay, like, I'm going to play, don't worry. So that being said, how do you see this game shaping up?
Well, yeah, Seattle's coming off of a bye week. So, I mean, I feel like DK will be in the lineup because this is an injury he sustained during the games and he hasn't missed any time. So I don't see him missing this game at all. But I'm taking Seattle. I think Seattle coming off the bye is going to be able to pull out this W. I feel like the Cincinnati Bengals team we saw last week was great. It looks amazing. But again, you got to remember the matchup. They were playing Arizona. So Arizona's kind of giving up 30 points to everybody. So I'm not taking anything home on that. Chase, yes, he looked phenomenal. Burrow looked good. But now you're going up against Seattle, who's actually a real team, actually leading that division. So we'll actually stick behind the 49ers, but give me Seattle in this game.
All right. Another one we're split on. I think the Bengals take this one. I think they they pull it out. It was against an easy matchup last week, but Seattle's not the hardest matchup either. They do allow receivers to get off on them. So my big thing here is Kenneth Walker. I think Kenneth Walker could have a good game though, but as far as the passing, maybe not so much against the Bengals. The Bengals secondary is pretty decent, so I think this is more of a Kenneth Walker game. And then I think Tyler Boyd is actually very sneaky, especially if T. Higgins plays with his ribs, because like I said, Seattle secondary is kind of generous to slot receivers, so. Yeah, I think Boyd could get there if you're in a spot where you need a flex play. I think Tyler Boyd is very sneaky.
Yeah,
but
I mean, Kenneth Walker, like you said, he should have a great game. Cincinnati is allowing 154 yards on the ground weekly, so that's
exactly
huge for Kenneth Walker. And it's also why I like Seattle in this game. I feel like he's going to be able to run the ball and it's going to open up the pass game.
It's definitely going to be a great game to watch. I think Cincinnati pulls it out. You think Seattle? We're moving on. All right, San Francisco at Cleveland Browns. San Fran is undefeated, 5-0, going to Cleveland, 2-2. Right now, San Fran's favored by 7.5 points on the road. Yes, we do have an injury. We got Deshaun Watson is trending downward again. He's probably not going to play with a shoulder injury, which means Dorian Thompson-Robinson is going to be your QB again. And it didn't look great last time he played. Granted, they did have a bye week, but it didn't look good. So, and everybody suffered on the team from it. So, how do you see this shaping up this week?
Yeah, San Fran's going to get a W again. They're going to be 6-0. Definitely taking San Fran in this game. The total for this game is 36. Is the over/under. Both of these defenses are phenomenal. I mean, Cleveland's defense is only allowing 220 total yards of offense. So it's going to be interesting to see San Fran go up against that defense, who's only given up 148 yards passing and 72 on the ground. So it's definitely the best defense that I feel like San Fran has seen. But with that being said, we did have this conversation a few weeks ago when they were going up against that Pittsburgh Steelers defense, and Brock Purdy looks phenomenal, and CMC is phenomenal as well. So I feel like they're going to make the Browns defense look bad, and I see them winning this game and still putting up numbers. They put up 30 points on everybody they've played so far, at least. So, a minimum of 30 points in every game. So I'm taking San Fran big in this one.
They have the over-under at 37.
37?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's like insanely low, but like it kind of fits with what you're saying. And I agree, they're both really good defenses. So it will be interesting to see how this plays out. Obviously, Ayuk has been better than Debo throughout the year, and I think this continues this week as well. Kittle, sell high is my note of that. I mean, if you could get a load for him for after that huge game he had, sell him. I'm not a big tight end guy anyway, so like if anybody wants to buy tight ends for receivers or running backs, I'm all about it. You know what I mean? I think this is going to be kind of an ugly game. It's going to be interesting to see what San Fran does, but yeah, I do think San Fran wins the game. Not much more else to talk about here. All right, moving on. We got Carolina at Miami. Carolina has not won a game yet. They have the pleasure of going to Miami, who are 4-1 and rolling. Yes, Miami does have injuries. The most notable one is Devon Achane. He'll be out for about 4 weeks now on the IR. But we could be seeing Jeff Wilson coming back. So, Coach Bishop, how you seeing this shaping up?
Well, I'm going to be seeing this one from live and in person because I'll be in Miami myself. So, I expect to see a great show again. I think Miami's going to put up 30 points again. I'm definitely on Miami on this game. The spread I think is 13.5. I think Mostert's in line for a big game himself. I think he's going to get the main workload with Jeff Wilson coming back. I mean, Jeff Wilson probably will be involved. But Carolina's given up 140 yards rushing on the ground, and Miami's averaging way more than that. So I think Mostert's going to have a phenomenal day. It's going to be a big day for Miami, and it's just going to be a long day for Carolina. It's already been a long season, and this is just going to make the whole season feel that much longer because you're going to roll into Miami and just get steamrolled. I mean, the Lions just put up 42 points on Carolina last week. So that trend, I mean, Miami could put 40 up again. Hell, they might put up 70 again. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think Mostert's wheels up this week, like you said. I totally agree with that. On the other side, Chuba Hubbard's looking better than Miles Sanders.
Yes.
Do you play Chuba Hubbard this week?
Once again, that's a thin one. I'm hoping you're not in that situation where you have to make that decision. But I'm playing Chuba Hubbard over Miles Sanders. But I'm just hoping you have better backs because this is probably going to be a negative game script. It's probably going to be a lot of passing because they're going to have to try to play catch up. Miami's going to jump on them right off the rip. Probably go down. I mean, Carolina's going to be down quick and going to be throwing the ball a lot.
Yeah, with that said, so who do you like in the passing game for Carolina?
Oh, Adam Thielen, wheels up, obviously.
Yeah.
Mingo could be in there, DJ Chark, all of those guys.
Yeah, basically. I would like to see how Thielen does this week. Obviously, you got to start him. He's been balling, and I think he's gonna stay in the slot. That's what he's been probably mainly working out of. So, it's not like we're gonna let them catch the passes. The Dolphins will let them catch, will let that slot position catch the balls, and just kind of keep things in front. So I think I'm gonna be taking his over reception prop this week. But yeah, Miami wins this game, easy going. Moving on. All right, Indianapolis Colts at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Big matchup. Colts are 3-2. The Jags are 3-2, and it's Minshew Mania time. Revenge game. How you see this going?
Yeah, Minshew's getting to come back to Duval. He's going back to Jacksonville to see him. You know, Jacksonville pulled out the W week 1, 31-21. Calvin Ridley had a big game that day. He had 8 catches, 101 yards, and a touchdown. And I see him repeating that process. I mean, the Colts defense, number 1 receivers, pretty much been able to eat on them. So I feel like Ridley and Kirk have phenomenal days. Yep. I see Jacksonville winning this game again. But I do see JT getting more involved this week. But Jacksonville does have a good run defense. So I feel like they're going to keep it bottled up. But I see JT probably he got like 6 touches last week, 6 carries. I see he getting ramped up to about, say, 10 to 12. But I do feel like coming back next week, it'll be wheels up, and he'll be probably the number 1 with Zach Moss as the number 2, and then that's when you'll see the roles flipped. I feel like Zach Moss is still probably going to be over him, especially after the big game he had last week. There's no way they can just kind of shove him to the back burner right yet. But I think JT will get more than 6 carries this week, just not going to overtake Moss yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'd love to see this whole dynamic with Minshew going back to Jacksonville. He's been doing all right as well. His favorite target, to be honest, is Josh Downs. So I think Josh Downs is a great play this week. You're still going to play Michael Pittman as well. You have to. I'm rolling out JT. I have him in my leagues. That's it. It's ready to rock and roll. It might be a bad play, but I'm going to trust the system, trust the process. Like you said, really should have a great game. Wheels up for him in this matchup. Christian Kirk as well, because Zay Jones is most likely not playing. He's been banged up with a knee injury. He tried to give it a go. It didn't work out for him last time he played. So he hasn't been practicing all week. So it's trending downward for him to play. So that you're playing Christian Kirk, you're playing Calvin Ridley, you're playing Evan Ingram. Honestly, Evan Ingram has the most yards right now for tight ends. Very, very quiet year, but he's been getting like 50 yards every week, 50 to 60 yards.
Yeah, he's very consistent on 50.
Right, so here's my bold shot of the day. I think he gets in the end zone finally this week. A little TD prop for you. And then, on the other side, JT. I think JT and Moss split the backfield 50-50 for now. But if it is 50-50, that would be a great improvement on the JT share. So it's a tough game for me to call, though. You say you like Jacksonville. I think I'm going to go Indianapolis on this one. They're going to pull it out on the road. But yeah,
give them the lead in the division.
Yeah, that would be crazy. So it's going to be a nice game to watch for sure. All right, moving on. We got New Orleans Saints traveling to the Houston Texans. New Orleans is 3-2. Houston is 2-3. Not much. Oh yeah, we got Tank Dell. He's injured right now with a concussion. It's not promising. They're saying he hasn't practiced yet, so it's looking like he might actually sit out. And on the other side, we did have Chris Olave with a toe injury, but he did pull in a full practice yesterday, so it's looking like he will be able to suit up. How you like this game going?
I'm taking the Texans. The spread right now is looking like it's 1.5. So the Texans are getting 1.5. They got the Saints favored. Mm-hmm. I feel like everybody's trying to tell you should be taking the Saints. Your gut probably says take the Saints. I'm going with Vegas. Vegas is probably trapping everybody to do that. So I'm going to go with the Texans. And plus, I think the Texans are more explosive. I'd rather have C.J. Stroud over Derek Carr.
Yes.
I feel like that offense is more explosive, more powerful. The Saints do have Kamara, but, they've had him now for 2 weeks, and that offense has kind of been stagnant. Last week they just kind of overpowered New England, but I don't feel like it was anything explosive. Like, Olave was quiet. Michael Thomas just did his little typical, I'm going to give you 4 for 50. There was just nothing that kind of was just like popping. Nobody had any kind of crazy stat line. It's just New England's just terrible. So I'm taking Houston, man. I think Houston's going to be able to pull this one out.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that one. I like Houston. We love Houston, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Nico Collins, though, probably going to be going up against Marshawn Lattimore. That would open up the door for the other receivers, where right now Tank Dell is in concussion protocol, trending downward. We also have Robert Woods with a little injury as well. He's looking like he will play. But, you know where I'm going with this?
Hit me with it.
Your boy John Mechie.
Yeah.
I think he's back. I think this might be a week where he gets some playing time.
And he gets rolling. I've been big on him, and I love that dude. I loved him coming out of Alabama. I thought it was a great pick when they picked him. He just had an unfortunate cancer situation where he had to sit out last year to take treatments. Yeah. But, this could be an explosion game for him.
Right. So here's my take on that. They have the Saints this week. The Texans play the Saints this week, and then they have a bye week. In one of my leagues, I have a short bench, only 5 bench spots. I actually just dropped Tank Dell because I wanted to pick up somebody else, and I said, you know what? Let's run it. Let's run the gamble. Drop Tank Dell. He's not going to play this week. Not going to play next week because of the bye. And then who knows, coming back from the bye, how that wide receiver room is going to even look. It might get cloudy with John Mechie there now. So I'm going to take the gamble and pick up someone else that has a little more upside, in my opinion. So that's something that I did. Obviously, you don't have to do that. It is a very risky move because Dell was performing pretty well.
It was.
But, I mean, he really only had 2 games. And then he didn't have a good game. And, it was one of those things where it's like, is this really going to be like all season? And so I'm taking a gamble that it's not. But either way, in this game, we both like Houston to win. Olave is going to play, like we said. Kamara, workhorse, baller, play him. Dameon Pierce, tough matchup. Got a bye week next week. This could be, if he doesn't do that well, this could be a great, great, great buy low week. Let's say he just has an average game. Then he has on top of it the bye week next week. People might be ready to just flip him for anything. I say go after him if you can in any league you can. Try to stash him for the stretch run because he is getting a lot of volume for the team. Michael Thomas also has a tough matchup, to be honest. He is going against one of the slot corners in Houston that's been doing really well this year. So it's going to be interesting to see with that. Yeah, we both like Houston to win. Moving on. Got New England Patriots at the Las Vegas Raiders. Woo! It's the teacher versus the pupil. All kinds of storylines in here. Jimmy G going back. Got Jacoby Myers going back. How do you see this game shaping up?
Man, this is terrible. But I think the Raiders pull this one out. I actually think Las Vegas wins this game. It's in Vegas. Belichick's going there. Last 2 weeks, I mean, the Patriots haven't done anything. They got 3 combined points in 2 weeks. So they're not doing anything. This offense is super stagnant. It looks slow. It is slow. They have no speed from anybody. But the Raiders aren't as good either, but they just have better weapons like Myers and Adams. I like that. I like Josh Jacobs. But the one thing about this Raiders, even with all these weapons, man, they haven't even scored 20 points this year. Their highest output in any given game is 18. They scored 18 points is their highest score. They're the only team that yet reached the 20s. I mean, they're only averaging 15 points on the season, a total of 79 points through 5 games. So
this game's
the
ugly.
offense has got to get rolling, and hopefully it's this week for them that they actually, you got the Patriots coming in who are, I believe, a lesser team. And they should be able to steamroll and get some points out, man. Maybe put up a 30-piece on them.
I don't see any of that happening. No 30 pieces in this game. This game is ugly as hell, like you said. Yeah, Raiders probably win the game. You know why? Because the Patriots are doing something. They're freaking tanking. It almost feels so obvious that Bill Belichick is tanking. He's like, yeah, Mac Jones, just leave him in there. But he knows damn well that shit ain't working. But he don't care. I'm pretty sure he just wants to get a high draft pick or just ride off into the sunset. as
Right,
a,
that's what I was
a
going to
loser.
ask you then is how many more years do you think Belichick has in him?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know where his head's at. I mean, this is bad. They're looking really bad.
Do you think he wants the win total record and be able to pass up our man Don Shula?
I mean, I could have. That
He's
would be
only
a good
30.
goal for him.
He's less than 30 wins away.
Right.
At this rate, it's going to take him about 8 years to get there. So,
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting to see if he really wants that win total. I don't know.
So I think he definitely stays a couple more years. So with that said, I think tanking right now at this moment in time is the best thing for them to do. The total is sitting at 41.5 points. I think that goes way under. I think the under crushes that. And then another thing is Jimmy G is also leading the league in interceptions. So might as well throw an interception prop on him as well. I think Jacoby Myers has been a great story this year. If you drafted him in the late rounds, he's been a really, really nice play for your teams. He's been solid. He's a good player. And I think this week against New England, I think he might just go off. Devontae Adams going to eat. Jacobs going to eat. And then it's now or never for Ramondre Stevenson. I'm already been panicking. I've been hit the panic button. But if he doesn't do it, if he doesn't do it this week against the Raiders, I mean that's it. It's done. I'm over it. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's also been some Malik Cunningham buzz by Coach Belichick. Malik Cunningham is the rookie that was signed to the practice squad. He's been in and out of the team. Did all right in the preseason. So it's interesting to see if they bring him up. But yeah,
wow.
We like the Raiders to take this ugly game. All right, moving on. You got the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Los Angeles Rams. The Cardinals are 1-4. The Rams are 2-3. Rams are favored by 7 points in this divisional matchup. How do you see this game shaping up?
I see the Rams being able to go in there and handle the Cardinals. I mean, the Cardinals are coming to them. It's going to be a home game for the Rams, and I think the Rams pulled out the W. I mean, this Cardinals defense is not good at all. They gave up 31 points to the Giants. They gave up 35 points to San Francisco. They gave up 34 points to Cincinnati. I mean, they're not stopping anybody. And I think with Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, I feel like Kyren Williams is going to have a great game. You know, they're giving up 124 yards on the ground. I literally think the Rams can go in there and score 30 on these guys easily.
Yeah, I like that take as well. I think the Rams win as well. I have here Puka explosion. That's definitely a thing. And then Kyren Williams, yes, you're going to start him. On the other side, on the Arizona side, we got James Conner will be out as well with the injury. He's out for at least 4 weeks on the IR. So in comes Amari DeMarcado, who everyone freaked out and spent all their fat money on this week. But lo and behold, Keontae Ingram, if he's healthy, because he's been dealing with a neck injury, but he's been getting limited practices in, he's actually listed as the guy ahead of DeMarcado. So, that being said, probably going to be a split down the middle for them, kind of like a committee. So, I'm not too sure if you start any of them, to be honest. But then, I love Marquise Brown. Marquise Brown's been doing well with Dobbs. I think he's a hold in Dynasty. I wouldn't be selling him unless you can get like something good for him. But like, I think he's a hold. I think he's really good, and there's more potential for later on. I mean, if Kyler comes back, if he ever does. Either way, he's been doing well without him. So I think he's a nice, how do I say it? He's a nice role player for your team. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, if you could package him and get someone like a higher-end receiver, package him, and another running back for a higher-end receiver, probably do that as well. Maybe like Marquise Brown, Madison for someone higher, things like that. But, we both like the Rams to win this game. Not much more going on here. Moving on. Philly at the Jets. Philadelphia Eagles 5-0 going to New York, who are 2-3. Philly is favored by 7 points on the road. Not much going on injury-wise. How do you see this game shaping up?
This one's a little interesting, man. I'm actually picking the upset here. I'm taking the Jets. I think Philly is, they're just squeaking by every single game, just barely just doing enough to get wins. They're not really beating anybody handily. I think Breece Hall is in line to have a big game, and if he can get on the ball and moving, I can see the Jets upsetting the Philadelphia Eagles this week.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I think Philly wins the game, but I get what you're saying. We in our Survivor leagues, we do Survivor together. We're definitely not gonna pick Philly though, because this could be one of those games where it just eliminates half the field. The Jets definitely do have it in them, somewhat, to make this a game. Breece Hall momentum trending up. Just keep giving him the rock. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's a tough matchup, but as long as you just give him the touches, he could break one easily. He's very explosive. I like to see. I think Tyler Conklin is a play this week against Philly. Philly's kind of hard to attack on the outside, and their run defense is pretty good. So over the middle in the air is kind of where you're able to get to them, and I think Conklin could have a good game. I think Jalen Carter, the Philadelphia rookie defensive lineman, I think he's gonna have at least 2 sacks.
Well, here's the thing, though.
What?
He's actually on the injury report.
Oh, did not know that.
He twisted his ankle the other day in practice.
Oh, that's big.
And I believe that he did this on Wednesday, and he missed Thursday's practice. So they are saying there's a possibility where he may not play.
That is pretty big. You got also Fletcher Cox. He was out the last time they played. Let me see what's going on with him. No, he's back. Full practice. Okay, that's good for their defensive interior. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I think Swift is also obviously a great play this week. DeAndre Swift, because he does get involved in the passing game also. And then, are you playing Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, I'm playing Garrett Wilson.
You got to, right? It doesn't matter.
You have to. You drafted him in the top 2 rounds. You have to draft. You have to play him, or you need to be trading him. But you're not going to get a lot for him, so you just kind of got to play him, I feel.
All right. So Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, and I like Conklin as a sneaky tight end streamer. And then on the other side, you're playing your boys. I'm curious to see how this matches up, because like Sauce Gardner talking all this, that, and the other. He's gonna have to go up against one of them, either AJ Brown, who right now is looking like the better receiver. As a defense, who do you put Sauce on? Does it matter? Because he doesn't shadow, actually, does he?
No, he stays on one side
All
usually. So, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
He gives up a lot of big plays too, so he hasn't really been that productive this season, I feel.
Right. So I mean, for Philly, you got to play everybody basically though. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard, playing him, playing Swift, playing Hurts. But yeah, we both like Philly. Oh no, you like the Jets.
I said I like the Jets.
I like Philly to sneak it out, stay undefeated. We'll see how that goes. All right. And then Detroit Tigers. Detroit Lions at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is another great game on the schedule. Detroit is 4-1. The Bucs are 3-1, coming off a bye. Right now, Detroit's favored by 3.5 on the road. That's interesting to see. Amon-Ra St. Brown was injured, but it's looking like he's good to go with his abdomen injury. It's looking like it's not a sports hernia. It's more of a strain, which is great, because if not, he probably would have had to miss a lot of time. And then on the other side, you got Mike Evans still dealing with the hamstring injury. He was a limited participant in practice yesterday, Thursday. So it's still questionable. You know how that is with hammies. They don't want to rush it, because if you rush it, it could get tweaked again, and then it could be worse. With that said, how do you see this game shaping up?
I'm actually taking the Lions in this game. I feel like the Lions are just like the kings of the jungle right now. They're just running through people. The last 3 games,
The NFC jungle.
They won the NFC. I mean, still, it doesn't matter. I mean,
I'm
I
just
feel like
messing with you.
they beat the Chiefs. So, I mean, they beat the Super Bowl champs from last year. So, in week 1.
Yeah, you got a point.
The last three games, they won by 14, and then they won by 18 last week against a weaker Carolina team. So, I'm definitely taking the Detroit Lions to go into Tampa and pull out this win. I feel like they're more explosive. They put up 42 points last week. I see them be able to roll into Tampa and do something. That defense, man, is awesome. I mean, the Lions are only giving up 318 yards of offense. They're only allowing 250 passing and only allowing 68 yards rushing. And Rashard White's struggled against really good defenses. So they're pretty much going to have to put the ball in Baker Mayfield's hands, I feel, in order to win this game. And like you said, with Evans dealing with a hamstring injury, I just don't feel like they have the weapons to take down this Detroit Lions defense.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a great matchup, great game. Both teams have really good defenses. Yeah, if Evans doesn't play, that's definitely going to hurt the Bucs in a way. If he doesn't play, I am looking to see who steps up. Last time they in week 4, it was all Devin Tompkins, but he's a little guy. He's a little guy running around. I think Trey Palmer actually gets more love this week, coming off the bye, the rookie from Nebraska. He's slated to go right into that outside spot where Mike Evans would be. So interesting to see with that. Keep an eye on Mike Evans' injury. Trey Palmer could be a sneaky play, but I do think this game is low scoring, right? Both good defenses.
Yeah, low scoring.
Like you said, Detroit's been putting up 30 on people. I don't think that happens this week. It's going to be a great, great game to watch. I think Tampa Bay pulls this one out. I think they sneak it away, especially if Evans plays. Obviously, if Evans doesn't play, I might change my mind, but I think Evans does play, to be honest, and then Tampa Bay has enough to sneak it out. So we shall see. You're playing Godwin. You're playing Rashad White, even though Detroit's run defense is good. Same thing on the other side. You're playing David Montgomery, obviously, even though it is a tough matchup versus Tampa Bay. And you're playing Amon-Ra and Laporta.
I also feel like for Tampa, you're playing Cade Otton,
all right.
too.
I was about to ask you. That was my guy. That was the fringe player I was going to ask you about. Cade Otton.
Yeah. Definitely, I'm playing him.
All right, so this is one thing I'm going to bring up. Cade Otton has the pleasure of being off a bye. So for those of you in home leagues, this is a great little kind of a little sneaky advantage where you're talking about trades with people. Have in your head about people that are already coming off buys. It has intrinsic value in there that some people don't think about. But that's like he's coming off a bye. You might not ever have to stream a tight end ever again. You never know. You might have just got your tight end if you pick him up now and roll with him. We're gonna talk about someone else. I'm sorry.
I love trading for people who've already had their bye week. Like if
That's
I can trade you one of my guys that still has to go through a bye, and I can get a guy who already went through a bye, that's easy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. We're gonna talk about another guy in the Monday night game that's similar to that, but yeah. So you like Detroit to win?
Yes.
All right. I like Tampa to win. So we're all over the board this slate. Love it. All right, cool. Moving on, Sunday Night Football. The New York Giants travel all the way up to Buffalo, New York, to play the Bills. Giants are 1-4, looking like crap. The Bills are 3-2, coming off a really bad loss in London. Coach Bishop, how do you see this game shaping up?
So not only are they coming off of a really bad loss in London, they lost Matt Milano. They also lost defensive lineman. They lost Tre'Davious White.
Yeah.
This whole defense they've got 3 starters on their defense on IR and a starter from each level, one from the line, a linebacker, and a secondary. I think the Bills have enough offensively to get through this game and get the W versus the Giants, because the Giants' defense isn't that great either. But I would be cautious, especially if Barkley's playing. if the Giants may be able to score more than what you anticipate in this game. So Buffalo's definitely going to have to win this game offensively, because with the Buffalo Bills second defense being injured, I don't know, and they're coming back from London. So you got jet lag coming back from London off of a bad loss. You already got Diggs breaking tablets. You got your whole defense of going down on IR. I am very cautiously picking the Buffalo Bills to win this game, because the Giants are also going to be hungry and try to want to pick up a W. And Daniel Jones isn't guaranteed, I think, to play yet. So if Tyrod Taylor plays, that might just be the little kick in the butt they need. And also Tyrod Taylor, former Buffalo Bill himself, maybe he wants to go out there and ball if he gets the start this week. So this is a very, very not easy pick the Bills game for me.
I mean, the Bills are favored by 14.5. So you're telling me the lock of the day is Giants plus 14.5.
I'm not saying it's a lot. I'm just saying I'm cautious on this one. This one has got a lot of concern. I probably will take the Giants plus 14.5.
I mean, yeah, everything you're saying is like lining up for that. But yeah, Danny Dimes didn't practice yesterday. He's got a neck injury, trending downward. Barkley did get a limited practice in, but that whole situation with Barkley is sticky. He might even be healthy enough to play, and they just hold him out, and they might even trade him. Who knows? And then the Bills have all the injuries on their defense as well. All right, so the Giants have zero wide receiver help. Jalen Hyatt, where you at? I don't know. Barkley's injured. You're not playing anybody else if they play, as far as Matt Breida or Gary Brightwell. Diggs explosion week. This is a Diggs explosion week. This is a great spot for him. Obviously, Gabe Davis has been a solid play. You roll him out as well. Dalton Kincaid is dealing with a little bit of an injury as well. So maybe Dawson Knox has a little game, but not rolling any of those guys out this week. Is this a James Cook bounce back week?
It definitely should be. It should be trending that way. That James Cook. I'm using James Cook. I have James Cook in a couple leagues. Definitely should be bounce back against this Giants defense.
Yeah.
But they also are doing this whole committee thing. Latavius Murray, Damian Harris, they're all in the mix.
Yeah. I would say the only person on the Giants side you're starting is Darren Waller.
Yeah, Darren Waller, Barkley if he plays. But as far as these other receivers that you're talking about, Wandell and Hyatt and stuff, I really, really would love to see Tyrod Taylor come in and see, is this a Daniel Jones issue, or do these guys just not have talent? Because if Tyrod Taylor can come in and kind of get these guys going, then we know it's probably a Daniel Jones issue, and he's not the guy that they thought he was.
Right. Yeah, so we both like Buffalo to win the game, right?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to the Monday Night Football game. Dallas Cowboys travel to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. Dallas is 3-2. The Chargers are 2-2, coming off a bye. Dallas is favored by 2 points on the road right now. How do you see this game shaping up?
I am taking the Chargers money line. The Dallas Cowboys are a bunch of frauds. They showed you last week. The San Francisco 49ers scored 42 points. That is the most points they've scored all season.
Yeah.
The Cowboys also lost to the Cardinals. Ever since, right now they're playing without Trayvon Diggs. Since Trayvon Diggs has gone down with his injury, that's when things kind of started going south. That's when they took the loss to Arizona. Now if Vander Esch is out this week as well.
Always out.
Yeah. So this defense is looking terrible. And you're going up against this high fire-powered Chargers offense who's getting Eckler back, most likely going to play. I'm taking the Chargers in this game to win big even.
Yeah.
I see them winning by about 10 points.
Yeah, I love it. I'm on the same boat with you. This is a revenge game for Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator for the Chargers. He was just in Dallas. He dipped out and said, nah, I'd rather work with a better quarterback. So now he's with Justin Herbert over there and them boys. I think they're going to air it out. This is a great game for Keenan Allen, obviously. And then Josh Palmer is on the other side as well. Do you play Josh Palmer? I would say yeah, right?
Yeah, you playing Josh Palmer.
Okay. And then this is the guy I was alluding to earlier, Gerald Everett. I think he's a great pickup this week if he's floating around in your waivers. He was kind of forgotten about, was on a bye. This is one of those guys. He's going to be wheels up the rest of the week, the rest of the year, with no bye week. He's talented in a high-powered offense. I think this is a great time to pick up Gerald Everett as well. And then on the other side, Dallas, this should be a get-right game for CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard. I mean, the Chargers' defense is not that great either. So, technically, theoretically, they should be balling out versus the Chargers. With that said, do you play either Brandon Cooks or Michael Gallup in this game if you have them?
No, I'm not playing either one of those guys. And then also, real quick on Pollard, he's been limited all week due to a shoulder injury.
Yeah, I saw that.
So there's starting to be talk that he may be out this week. So definitely that's something that you need to be keeping an eye on for Dowdle as well. That maybe be able to fall in line right there.
Yeah, Rico Dowdle.
Even a little bit of Deuce Vaughn. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to be watching that injuries, but I'm not playing any. The only receiver I'm playing is CeeDee Lamb from the Cowboys. He's literally the only one I'm playing in Pollard or whoever the starting running back is.
How about Jake Ferguson?
The other receivers. Jake Ferguson's a play.
Yeah, I agree. So we both like the Chargers to take this game.
Yes.
All right, Coach. That does it for us. Episode 20 in the books. Hopefully, everybody stuck with us, tuned in. Next episode we got coming to you will be our bets for the Sunday slate. We're gonna do a quick one with that one, just kind of cram it in either Saturday or Sunday. That way we can make some money together. Got anything to say?
No, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Yeah, man. I'm gonna be down there in Miami getting this W, watching my team throw the ball all over the place and putting up mad points. So I'm sitting here rocking Marino jersey, Dolphins hat.
Hey.
Got the Dolphins in the background. It's gonna be a big week for us, man.
Nice.
Like again, thank you all for tuning in. Like, subscribe, follow us. Take it to the crib.
To the crib.